Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is our morning update. All right, first, everybody who sent me emails in the last day or two, I haven't been able to get to those emails yet. I'm going to try and get to all of them today. If not today, I'll have all of them responded to by tomorrow. My phone didn't have service for a good portion of the day, and still the service is pretty spotty. I have to go to these like Wi-Fi hotspots, and so I don't have the ability to answer the emails as quickly as I usually do. So I do apologize for that, and I will get back to everybody today for sure. So I have an article today, and it's kind of a disturbing article. It has to do with something that Virginia Roberts tweeted out about her welfare and her health. And it's disturbing that a survivor of what she's been through is still in fear for her life. We failed her, folks. We failed all of these girls. All of us have failed them. If this case is this high profile and she still fears for her life, then the powers that we're dealing with are even more sinister than we believe. Because look, if anyone deserves to be protected at this point, it's Virginia Roberts and these girls that were brave enough to come forward and put these idiots on blast, these sick, disgusting predators on blast. But yet, they're still hiding, they're still scared, and there is no sign of media help anywhere for sure. Is ABC going to release the Robach interview or not? They're just going to keep sitting on it. They'll keep sitting on it. You would think that the media would come to her defense as vigorously as they did to the whistleblower's defense. But no, it doesn't push their political narrative, so therefore they do not care. You see, folks, we're wrapped in something different around these parts on this podcast. We're not involved in the stupid impeachment. We're not involved in Trump's missteps. We're not involved in any of that stuff unless it ties in to this case. Because all of that stuff, that's, in my opinion, none of that stuff even matters at this point. This case right here goes to the very heart of the republic and the free world as a whole. All right? Presidents come and go, folks. We've had bad presidents. We've had good presidents. The thing is, they come and they go. They're like interns. The people that never leave are the embedded bureaucrats inside of these intelligence agencies. And these are the people that really make the policy. Who do you think gives the president their daily briefing on a regular basis? That's right. The intelligence agencies. These are the people that have their fingers on everything. These are the most dangerous people in the whole entire world. Not President Trump, not President Obama. These type of people are the most dangerous people ever. And if they're wielded as a weapon, it's even more dangerous. Because who has the power that these people have? The power to literally ruin your life. And even if you're not guilty, they can litigate you into ruin. Do you understand how much it would cost to fight a federal trial against the United States government? I understand how much it would cost because I've seen it with my own eyes. All right? It is not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty process. Government officials, FBI agents, CIA agents, etc., they toe the line. If you think that these guys are these squeaky clean lawmen, you are absolutely, positively mistaken. Now, that doesn't mean that all FBI agents are bad or all CIA agents are bad, but what it means is there's a big problem with a lot of these people. And it's mainly the people in the intelligence world. Intelligence officers, no matter what agency they work for, are just inherently bad people, it seems like, because even when they're not running operations on American soil, which they're not supposed to do, their charter forbids that. But what they do is when they're running these operations in other countries, they just break whatever laws they want because the means justifies the end to them. They don't care about blowback. They don't care about casualties. They don't care about collateral damage. All they care about is whatever narrative that they want to push. And we see it time and time again. It trickles down from the intelligence agencies into their buddies in the media, and then the media get together and they push the narrative. And what you have is a circular source, right? The source goes back to the intelligence agent, and then, Michael Isikoff writes an article, and now all of a sudden that's the source. That's not how it works. That's not how you source a project. That's not how you're supposed to get information as a journalist. So the media has failed these victims. Not even a question. The government has failed these victims, not even a question. And if we let this occur, folks, I hate to be the one to break the news to you. If we let this occur and we let these girls continue to feel threatened and we let these people continue to walk, then we have failed them as well. And I refuse to go down without a fight. I will be here screaming from my mountaintop with my big fat mouth until the very end, until somebody A, shuts it for me, or B, this case comes to a conclusion. There's no in between for me. There's no middle ground. There's no gray area. That's all I care about at this point. If you would like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. Let's hop into our article. Daily Mail. Headline: I'm not suicidal. Virginia Roberts posts chilling message saying if something happens to me, do not let this go. Evil people want me quiet in the wake of Prince Andrew scandal and the Jeffrey Epstein death. I mean, just the headline alone, folks. Really? I mean, really? That's the society you want to live in? Not me. Not me. The person who should be scared is Ghislaine Maxwell. The person who should be scared is Prince Andrew. The person who should be scared is Glenn Dubin. The person who should be scared is insert name here. Not these girls. These girls, the scared portion should be over for them. Now's the portion for them to come forward and for people to stand up shoulder to shoulder with them. Virginia Roberts posted a chilling message on Twitter announcing, "I am not suicidal," after giving a high-profile interview accusing powerful figures, including Prince Andrew, of sexually abusing her. The 36-year-old, who claimed she was a sex trafficking victim of pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, wrote, "If something happens to me in the sake of my family, do not let If something happens to me in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." Well, I'll tell you what, here we are, right here, standing tall, letting everybody who wants to know that I'm not going anywhere. And I do not fear the CIA. I do not fear the Mossad. I do not fear the FBI. I do not fear any of those folks. Not one bit, not one iota. And that's just plain fact. All right? That is just plain fact. Those people do not scare me. They're bumbling morons. And, the way that they try and elicit you to do what they want is with fear. They'll seize your phone records. They'll do this. They'll do that. And I truly don't care, because guess what? This story is going to be broke if it's me talking about it or somebody else. You cannot stop us all. The 36-year-old, who claims she was a sex trafficking victim of pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, wrote, "If something happens to me in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." Miss Roberts posted the message in response to another user who suggested the FBI would try to kill her to protect the ultra-rich and well-connected. Look, back in the day, a few years ago, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe, I would have been like, that's batshit crazy. The FBI is not going to kill somebody. I was so naive. I had not red pilled yet. I had not woken up to what was really going on. But let me tell you what, it's not out of the realm of possibility. The FBI would kill her, right? We don't know what they're up to. They don't give us information. They don't tell us anything. They're not transparent, and they're always caught doing something shitty. So what does that tell you? It comes after Epstein died in custody in the U.S. while awaiting trial. An official autopsy concluded he hanged himself despite persistent conspiracies and claims by high-profile pathologist Michael Baden that evidence points to homicide. All right, let me read that again. Despite persistent conspiracies, you mean like what the mainstream media did for 3.5 years? No, that's a persistent conspiracy. This is a cover-up. And claims by high-profile pathologist Michael Baden. Well, don't try and, at the very least, they didn't try to kneecap him here. And, I'm not some kind of Michael Baden apologist by any means, but I think his opinion should be heard. His opinion is valid. This is what the man does for a living. If he was called in on all of those other high-profile cases, he might know what he's talking about, right? At the very least, let's hear his opinion. Miss Roberts recently appeared on a BBC interview where she gave an emotional interview about the abuse she claims she suffered at the hands of Epstein and Prince Andrew. And there's other people too, folks. Dershowitz, she's talked about other people. And we haven't even got into that yet because this is getting all of the media. But we're going to have to get into that too. That's part of it. We got to get into the weeds in this case, right? Right down into the weeds and be a roach in the rushes, because it's that you can't just get a scope of this case and get an outline and be like, all right, I have an idea what's going on. I'm locked in. I know the deal. That's not going to occur in this case. You have to get down into the weeds and really, really, really do the groundwork. She claims the prince abused her 3 times. Once at Epstein's New York apartment, once on a yacht in the Caribbean, and once at the London home of Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's alleged madam and rape partner. Why don't they add that? Speaking about her first alleged encounter with Andrew in London, she said she was taken to Tramp nightclub where she recalls dancing with the sweating prince. After leaving the nightclub, Roberts said, "In the car, Ghislaine tells me that I have to do for Andrew what I do for Jeffrey." And that made me sick. I didn't expect it from royalty. I didn't expect it from someone that I had looked up to and admired, the royal family. Giving her account of what happened at Ghislaine's house, she added, "There was a bath, and it started there, and it led into the bedroom. It didn't last very long, the whole entire procedure. It was disgusting. He wasn't mean or anything, but he got up and said thanks and walked out. And I sat there in the bed, just felt horrified and ashamed, and I felt dirty," she went on. "I had just been abused by a member of the royal family." She spoke out after Prince Andrew gave his own BBC interview where he denied the claims against him. In the interview, he claimed to have no memory of a photo apparently showing the pair at Ghislaine's house ever being taken, and suggested it had been faked. He also suggested that her memory of him sweating was inaccurate because his experiences in the Falklands meant he suffered from a rare condition which left him unable to sweat. Yeah, nobody believes you, Prince Andrew. Nobody is buying your sweat excuse. Furthermore, I bet you're sweating now. In response to Robert's BBC interview, a Buckingham Palace spokesman said the Duke unequivocally regrets his ill-judged association with Jeffrey Epstein and deeply sympathizes with those affected who want some form of closure. Except for Virginia Roberts, obviously, because, he never met her, he doesn't know her. How can you empathize with somebody you've never met, Prince? How can you feel bad about somebody you've never been around, Prince? They said it is emphatically denied that the Duke of York had any form of sexual contact or relationship with Virginia Roberts. Any claim to the contrary is false and without foundation. Oh, there's plenty of foundation here. Plenty of foundation to stand upon. The palace has also stated that any suggestions of impropriety with underage minors by the Duke was categorically untrue. He was widely criticized for failing to show remorse for his association with the disgraced financier, just call him a pedophile, or empathy with Epstein's victims during his television appearance. He has resigned from a large number of patronages and seen organizations he was once involved with sever ties. Miss Roberts claimed in court papers in Florida that she was forced to have sex with Andrew when she was age 17, below the state's age of consent. Well, there you have it, folks. Virginia Roberts fears for her life, thinks something might happen to her because people who are incredibly powerful and incredibly evil want to silence her. How is that okay? How is that even possible? How is not everybody on the planet standing up on whatever soapbox they have and screaming at the top of their lungs? And I'm going to take it a step further. I'll tell you right now, we're on record. If something happens to her, I'm holding Attorney General Barr personally responsible. He's the man in charge. I'm always talking about the buck stops here. He is the man in charge. He needs to rein these sons of bitches in. He needs to make sure that this FBI group and these people at the DOJ are doing the right jobs. And that first of all, they're not trampling on people's privacy. And second of all, they are not intimidating people, especially survivors. They should be comfortable going to the FBI. They should want to go to the FBI. They should know that the FBI is a safety net for them. But no, it's not. They don't investigate claims. They protect people. They tip off pedophiles before arresting them. And ask yourself, folks, why is that the case? Who are they protecting? Who are they protecting, and why are they protecting them, and who gives them the power to do so? A few rhetorical questions to ask yourself at the end of today's podcast. Because, folks, I have to tell you, this whole thing stinks to high heaven from the very top all the way down. We want answers and we want justice. And I hope they all realize and understand that in 2020, we are turning the predators into the prey. If you would like to contact me, you can do that at Bobbycapucci at protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. If you would like to support the show, you can do that in the description link by clicking on the GoFundMe link. I will be back later on tonight for the daily drop, and this afternoon at some point or early evening for an update on the banker Thomas Bowers.